from Department of Mathematics and Statistics, Bhavan Vivekananda College. I am here with my lesson 15 in linear algebra on vector spaces. In this lesson, I am going to explain about coordinate system of vectors. In this coordinate system of vectors, first we'll go through a theorem that is called as unique representation theorem. So the statement of this theorem is, let B is equal to set containing the vectors b1, b2, b3 and so on bn be a basis of a vector space V. For each vector x in V, there exists unique set of scalars c1, c2, c3 and so on cn such that x is written as that is x is equal to c1 b1 plus c2 b2 plus and so on plus cn bn. Now if we recollect, part of this already we know it earlier. That is, if there is a vector space which has a basis B, then every vector x in V can be written as a linear combination of basis vectors. This we know. Then what is the extra thing that is there in this theorem? Unique set of scalars. That means whatever the this linear combination, you are writing x as a linear combination of these, the scalars what you are using here, c1, c2, c3 and so on cn, should be unique. What do you mean by that? Let me explain this by a small example. Suppose I have the vector space R2 and I have one basis for R2 as with the vectors minus 1, 2 and 4, 1. It has this basis. Then let me take a vector x is equal to minus 6, 3 belong to R2. Then I can write minus 6, 3 is equal to 2 into minus 1, 2 plus minus 1 into 4, 1. So here if you observe this, whatever the scalars I use 2 minus 1. Here I use the scalars 2 minus 1. According to this theorem, these scalars whatever we are using, they are unique. Let me try to write the same vector minus 6, 3, the same combinations. Can I use any scalar? Suppose I use another scalar here. Can I get it? I cannot get any such scalars, another set. It is very difficult. You cannot get it. What do you mean by that? Whatever the scalars you used to write x as a linear combination of these two vectors, these set of scalars are unique. That is what meant by the statement of this theorem. Every vector x can be written as a linear combination of basis vectors in a unique way. That means the set of scalars are unique. Let us go through the proof of this theorem. So B is given, set containing B1, B2, B3 and so on Bn as a basis of a vector space V. Then by definition this B should span vector space V. That is, V is equal to span of set containing B1, B2, B3 and so on Bn. That is according to the definition of basis. What do you mean by V is spanned by this? For each x belong to V, there exists scalars C1, C2, C3 and so on Cn in R such that x is equal to linear combination of these C1, B1 plus C2, B2 plus and so on plus Cn, Bn. Let me give it as equation 1. Now what do we have to prove? This already we know that according to basis property. We have to prove that these scalars, whatever you have taken C1, C2 and so on Cn are unique. So while proving theorems, how do we prove uniqueness? We'll take the contradiction that there are some other set of scalars also. So for that we'll suppose that if possible, let us suppose that there exists another set of scalars. What are those? D1, D2, D3 and so on Dn in R such that x, the same x and with the same b1, b2 and so on bn basis vectors, but the scalars are different. X is d1 b1 plus d2 b2 plus and so on plus dn bn. This is equation 2. Actually we have to prove that these c1, c2 and so on cn are only the ones. There are no other set. But to prove that, we have taken the contradiction that there are some other set of scalars also satisfying this condition. So from 1 and 2, So both these C1 B1 plus C2 B2 and so on plus Cn Bn and D1 B1 plus and so on, these two are equal to x. Therefore from 1 and 2 these two will be equal. Then get all the terms one side and simplify. Take B1 common, you will get the coefficient here D1 minus C1. Similarly B2 common, D2 minus C2 plus and so on plus Bn if you take common, Dn minus Cn is equal to 0. Now what are these vectors b1, b2 and so on bn? They are vectors in the basis of the vector space. So basis of a vector space is also linearly independent. If it is linearly independent, when you write it as a linear combination and equate it to 0, these scalars must be zeros since these are Li, b1 to bn are Li. So what are these scalars? d1 minus c1 is equal to 0, d2 minus c2 is equal to 0 and so on dn minus cn is equal to 0. Why? Since set containing b1, b2, b3 and so on bn is linearly independent. What do you mean by that? d1 is equal to c1, d2 is equal to c2 and so on dn is equal to cn. This is what, though we tried to take another set of scalars d1 to dn, we got them equal to correspondingly c2, c1, c2 and so on cn. What do you mean by that? Hence the set of scalars is unique. That means every vector x in a vector space V can be written as a linear combination of vectors in a unique way. The scalars are unique. Now let me define what are coordinates of a vector. Let B is equal to set containing B1, B2, B3 and so on Bn be a basis of a vector space V. Let x belong to V, a vector x belong to V. Then by the previous theorem we have x is equal to c1 b1 plus c2 b2 plus and so on plus cn bn in a unique way. You can write this. The set of scalars c1, c2 and so on cn are unique. Then the coordinates of x relative to the basis b are nothing but the scalars or weights c1, c2, c3 and so on cn. So whatever the scalars, unique scalars you are getting, they are called as coordinates of x, and the coordinate vector of x relative to the basis b is written as coordinate vector of x relative to the basis b is equal to c1, c2 and so on cn. It is written as a column vector. Coordinates means just scalars. Coordinate vector is a column vector. And these coordinates and coordinate vector are relative to the basis b. That means if you change basis, take another basis, these scalars will be different, coordinates will be different, and the coordinate vector also will be different. This let me explain in the next example. Suppose I have R2 vector space and I'll take a basis as minus 1, 2 and 4, 1, and then I'll try like this. So I'll write in like I'll take scalars 2 minus 1 2 plus minus 1 into 4 1. If I simplify this, I will get here vector minus 6 3. So I'm coming from the other side of the problem. Later I'll explain you again what it is. So if I take a vector x is equal to minus 6 3 and these are basis vectors, then I'm writing this minus 6 3 as a linear combination of minus 1 to 4 1. And what are the scalars I got here? The scalars that I got them here are 2 and minus 1, right? Then these scalars 2 and minus 1, we call them as coordinates of x, that is of minus 6 3, that is with respect to the basis b. And this one, the vector, if I take the same thing 2 minus 1, this I call it as coordinate vector of x with respect to the basis b. That is coordinate vector of x with respect to the basis b. Suppose I change another basis. I take another basis for R2. So I will take the standard basis, suppose 1 0 0 1. This is also basis of R2. Then the same x, that is minus 6, 3, I can write it as minus 6 into 1, 0 plus 3 into 0, 1. Then here, what are the coordinates? Minus 6, comma 3 are coordinates, and coordinates vector of x with respect to the basis s is minus 6, 3. The coordinates are the, that means when this is with respect to the basis s. This is with respect to the basis. Here whatever you have, this is with respect to the basis b. The same vector x, its coordinates are 2, minus 1 with respect to basis b, but with respect to basis s, its coordinates are minus 6, comma 3. That means if you change the basis for the same vector, the coordinates will be changing. Now, how to find the coordinates? You may think that it is so easy. Here I didn't take, if you have observed, I didn't take this minus 6, 3 before. I just took a linear combination of these and I got this vector. Suppose directly I know minus 6, 3 and I have to find out what are the scalars with this. It is by trial and error you have to check. It is not that easy to do it. So we have some procedure how to find the coordinates of a vector and coordinate vector, that we will see in the next example. To find the coordinate vector of a given vector. So let us see this example. Let B is equal to set containing 3 vectors here. That means what is B? Basis for the vector space. It's not mentioned, but still that is basis set. And X is a vector 8 minus 9, 6. Then find the coordinate vector X with respect to the basis B. This is what we meant by this example. This question. Let us see now the solution. So what do we mean by, we'll write first what do we mean by coordinates and coordinate vectors. So if I take in this, if whatever B is given as these vectors B1, B2, B3, suppose the given vectors, and for X belong to V, the vector space V, and here the vector space V, I can take it as R3 because you can see these vectors are from R3. If for X belong to R3, X is equal to C1 B1 plus C2 B2 plus C3 B3 implies C1 C2 C3 are coordinates, or you will say that are called coordinates of X, and this vector C1 C2 C3 is called the coordinate vector of X with respect to B, that is coordinate vector of X with respect to the basis B. This is what we mean by. So now we have here X is equal to, what is X given to us? X is 8 minus 9, 6 is equal to C1. This is what C1 into, what is B1? 1 minus 1 minus 3 plus C2 into minus 3, 4, 9 plus C3 into 2 minus 2, 4. That is, if this is done, then you have to find C1, C2, C3. That means, that implies if I write these as equations, what do I get? C1 into 1. C1 minus 3C2 plus 2C3 is equal to 8. And then minus C1 plus 4C2 minus 2C3 is equal to minus 9. And then minus 3C1 plus 9C2 plus 4C3 is equal to 6. So you got here a system of equations. So to find C1, C2, C3, we will solve the system 1. And we know how to solve the system of equations. For this, consider augmented matrix. How do we solve the system of equations? Consider augmented matrix AD. That is, so how do you take the augmented matrix? Again, here the coefficients 1, minus 3, 2, and then 8, minus 1, 4, minus 2, minus 9, and then minus 3, 9, 4, and 6. So this we have to write, and this to be reduced to echelon form. Again the same procedure. So for so many like problems, we are mostly using here echelon forms. Now we have to reduce this to echelon form. So let us use the same procedure. Mark the pivot position, and using these two you have to make them zeros. So what do you apply for R2? R2 plus R1, and for R3, R3, so minus 3, so if you add 3, that is 3 times R1, it will be 0, and this is transformed to this matrix 1 minus 1 0. So this is 1 minus 3 2 8 and then 0, and next is 4 minus 3 1 minus 2 plus 2 0 minus 1, and then this is 0, and then next one, this also will be 0 because 9 minus, this is 0, and next is 4 plus 3 times 3 to 6, which is 10, and then 6 plus 3 is 24, which is 30. Now let us mark again the pivot positions. This is pivot and these are zeros. This is pivot and this is 0 and this is pivot. So our echelon form, in one step the echelon form reduction is over. Echelon form, it is in echelon form now. So now what do you have to give? You have to give C1, C2 the constant values. Here let me say here the column, this is column 1 and this is column 2, column 2, and then column 3. So here I will write columns 1, 2, 3 or pivot columns. I am not using C1, C2, C3 because I have already here C1, C2, C3. So now we have here these 3 columns or pivot columns. And here we need not concentrate on whether there are basic variables or free variables, because you are not concluding Li or Ld, but you have to find out the values of C1, C2, C3. So to find out the values of C1, C2, C3, we will rewrite the equations. So that is C1 minus 3C2 plus 2C3 is equal to 8, and the second equation is C2 is equal to minus 1, and the third equation is 10C3 is equal to 30. So you need to find out the values here. It's clearly given C2 is equal to minus 1. So this C2 value is over. Now we have 10C3 is equal to 30 implies C3 is equal to 3. So we got C3 value also. And our next value must be C1. So substitute in So if I say this as the equation, then you will get C1 minus 3 into C2 is minus 1 plus 2 into C3 is 3 is equal to 8. That implies you have C1, and this is 3 plus 6, 9. C1 is equal to 8 minus 9, which is equal to minus 1. Therefore, you got the values here. C1 is equal to minus 1, C2 is equal to minus 1, and C3 is equal to 3, which you call these as coordinates of whatever the given vector x, and the coordinate vector is the coordinate vector of x is, that is x relative to the basis b is, it is column vector c1, c2, c3, that is equal to minus 1, c2 is also minus 1, and c3 is 3. So these are the coordinates, and this is a coordinate vector. Let us look at this example. Let b is equal to set containing 1 minus t square, t minus t square, 2 minus t plus t square. This is set of polynomials, 3 polynomials of what degree? Second degree, maximum degree 2. Be a basis for P2. So what is P2 here? Vector space of all polynomials of maximum degree 2. So this B is one basis for P2. That means these are basis vectors. Then find the coordinate vector of P of t is equal to 1 plus 2t minus 6t square. So now we are finding that this is in place of x you have P of t, which is a polynomial in P2. Then you have to find coordinate vectors for this P of t with respect to basis P. So now let us see the solution. So here you are given, let me take this as this is b1, b2 and b3. So these are basis vectors, and whatever this is given to me, let me take it as x. Now let me write let x is equal to c1 b1 plus c2 b2 plus c3 b3. That is, what is x for me? P of t is equal to C1 into what is B1, 1 minus t square plus C2 into t minus t square plus C3 into 2 minus t plus t square. Now what is P of t for us? 1 plus 2t minus 6t square is equal to, then this also let us write it as, so what is the constant? C1 into 1 plus 2c3, this is constant. Next t terms, there is no t term here, c2t minus c3t, and then plus minus c1 t square minus c2 t square plus c3 t square, that I can write it as c1 plus 2 c3 plus c2 minus c3 into t plus minus c1 minus c2 plus c3 into t square. So this is what I have here. Let me give it as equation. This is 1. Then what do you have to do here? You have to find c1, c2, c3. So let us take it. From this equation 1, I can write 1 implies, compare the like terms. 1 is equal to, so I have c1 plus 2 c3 is equal to 1. And next, what is t term? I have C2 minus C3 is equal to 2, and then minus C1 minus C2 plus C3 is equal to minus 6. So now you have here this system of equations to be solved. So how do we solve this? You have to solve this, solve it to find C1, C2, C3. This is what we have to do now. So to solve this system of equations, we'll use this augmented matrix and echelon form of matrix. So consider augmented matrix AD, that is equal to, you have here C1 coefficient 1, C2 is not there, 0, then 2, and then this is 1, and C1 is not there, it is 0, and then 1, minus 1, 2, minus 1, minus 1, 1, minus 6, and now we have to reduce it to echelon form. So what are the pivot positions? Let us mark the pivot positions. This is pivot position. In the first, then we have to make these two. This is already 0, so minus 1 we have to make 0. So for R3 plus R1. So this matrix is transformed to 1, 0, 2, 1, 0, 1, minus 1, 2, minus 1 plus 1, 0, minus 1 plus 0 is minus 1, 1 plus 2 is 3, and minus 6 plus 1 is minus 5. Now, so this is completed, and now we have the next row pivot position, and then this you have to use and make this row column zeros. So we'll use the transformation for R3 plus R2. So this will be transformed to 1, 0, 2, 1, and then 0, 1, minus 1, 2, and 0, minus 1 plus 1, 0, 3, minus 1, 2, and then this is minus 5 plus 2 is equal to minus 3. So now this is pivot position, this is pivot position, and this is pivot position. So now this has come to the echelon form. Now our task is to find out these C1, C2, C3 values. So from here you just write the equations, and because here you have all these C1, C2, C3 as pivot columns. If you see these as columns, these are all pivot columns, and even our variables are also in C1, C2, C3 only. And we don't need to write whether unique solution or infinite. We have to find the solution here. So to find the solution, rewrite the equations. If you have to determine Li or LD or linear combination, you will just mention what are basic variables, free variable, and then unique or infinite. But here you have to give the solution. So rewrite the equation. So what will you get here? C1 plus 2C3 is equal to 1, and then C2 minus C3 is equal to 2, and 2C3 is equal to minus 3. So this implies I will use this is equation 1, and then this is equation, let me write here, this is equation 1, 2, and 3. So I have here 3 implies I have C3 is equal to minus 3 by 2. So substitute in equation 2. So you have C2 minus of minus 3 by 2 is equal to 2. So C2 is equal to 2 minus 3 by 2, which is equal to 1 by 2. And then so C2 value you have, then substitute in, so C2 value also you have here, C3 value also you have here, substitute in 1. Then I will get C1 plus 2 into minus 3 by 2 is equal to 1, which implies I have C1 is equal to 1 plus 3, which is equal to 4. So now I have got the three values. What are the coordinates? Therefore, the coordinates of P of t are, what is that? C1 is equal to 4, C2 is equal to 1 by 2, and C3 is equal to minus 3 by 2. And the coordinate vector, that is coordinate vector of P of t with respect to the basis B is equal to C1, C2, C3, that is 4, 1 by 2 minus 3 by 2. So we find coordinates as well as coordinate vector. Now our next problem is to find vector x when its coordinate vector is given. So here let us see this example. B is a basis given, that is 1 minus 2 3 5 0 minus 2 4 minus 3 0 with 3 basis vectors, and you are given the coordinate vector of x with respect to B, that is 1 0 minus 2. You have to find out x. So by definition, what do we mean by coordinate vector? So here x is equal to C1 B1 plus C2 B2 plus C3 B3, where B is equal to B1 B2 B3. Then this is base C1 C2 C3. Now this is given to you as 1 0 minus 2. Therefore you have to find out this x. So therefore x is equal to, what is C1 1 into what is B1 1 minus 2 3, if this is B1 B2 B3, then plus 0 into 5 0 minus 2 plus minus 2 into 4 minus 3 0. On simplifying this, you will get 1 minus 8 minus 2 plus 6, and then 3 plus 0 0 plus 0, whatever it is. This you will get the vector minus 7 4 3. This is what x for you. Here are some practice problems. So in the first problem, vector b1, b2 are given, that is basis vectors, and x is given. Then find the coordinate vector of x with respect to basis b. In the same way, in the second also basis is given and the coordinate vector is given. You have to find the vector x. And in the third one again, basis is given, a vector x is given, then find the coordinate vector of x. Now let us see what will be coordinates of a vector with respect to standard basis. Suppose I consider the standard ordered basis of R2, that is S is equal to set containing unit vectors 1 0 0 1. Then every vector x is equal to AB in R2 can be written as x is equal to vector AB, that is equal to A into 1 0 plus B into 0 1. But then what are the coordinates? A, B itself. And what will be the coordinate vector, that is with respect to standard basis coordinate vector with respect to standard basis are AB, the vector AB itself. Coordinates are AB, the scalars, and coordinate vector is again the same vector x. That means if you take the standard ordered basis, for any vector, its coordinate vector is the same vector itself. Similarly, for R3, R4 and so on, Rn also. In the same way, consider the standard ordered basis of P1, the vector space of all polynomials of maximum degree 1, and where its standard basis S is equal to set containing 1t. And then take any general polynomial x is equal to a plus bt in P1. Then you can write a plus bt as a into 1 plus b into t, linear combination of 1t. Then what are the coordinates? A, b. That means the coordinates of a plus bt with respect to standard ordered basis are ab itself, and its coordinate vector will be a vector column vector ab. Similarly, p2, p3 and so on, pn also. Now let us look at some important points to remember. Let V be a vector space with a given basis B, then for each vector x belong to V, its coordinate vector with respect to the basis B, that is, coordinate vector of x with respect to basis B will be in Rn. Right? That let me just give you for this an example. Just previously we have seen the vector x is equal to a plus bt in P1. What are the coordinates of x with respect to standard basis B? That is, standard basis is 1 comma t. R nothing but coordinate vector is AB. So where is this coordinate vector? Is in R2. So x is there in P1, the vector space of polynomial, but its coordinate vector with respect to the basis B, that is there in R2. So any vector space you take, vector space of functions, vector space of matrices, anything you take, any vector you take in that, its coordinate vector will be either in R2, R3 like that. It will be in Rn for some n. That is what we mean by. Then the second point is, if B set containing B1, B2, B3 and so on Bn are vectors in a vector space V with a given basis B, right, these are just vectors, not the basis vectors, and there is a basis B is given, then there exists set of their corresponding coordinate vectors. So if B1 is a vector, what is its corresponding coordinate vector? B1, coordinate vector of B1 with respect to B, then corresponding to B2, coordinate vector of B2 with respect to B, and so on, coordinate vector of Bn with respect to B. Where will this set be? This set will be in Rn. As each coordinate vector is in Rn, the set of coordinate vectors will be also in Rn. And the next point, if there is a set B1, B2, B3 and so on, Bn is linearly independent in a vector space V. So whatever this set we have taken, suppose if it is Li, then the set of their corresponding coordinate vectors, that is, what is the corresponding coordinate vector set? This is the one. For B1, its coordinate vector. For B2, its coordinate vector. And so on for Bn, its coordinate vector. This set, where will it be? This is in Rn. Then relative to base is also linearly independent in Rn. Before we wrote this set will be in Rn. So if this is Li, and this set will be also in Li. This is also Li in Rn. And the last one is, what do you mean by this? Every vector space V can be corresponded to Rn for some n belong to n. Or we can say that every vector space V is isomorphic to Rn, because for every vector in V, suppose I have, this is vector space V, that may be any vector space. This may be a vector space of polynomials, vector space of real numbers, vector space of complex numbers, anything it can be. But then it is corresponding to any vector you take x here, its coordinate vector with respect to some basis will be in Rn, and this V is isomorphic to Rn. V is How do we write this isomorphic symbol? Isomorphic to Rn.